to the Washington Football Team podcast brought to you by Fansided. This is your co-host Tay and Todd. We are 5-6 headed into a huge week against the Las Vegas Raiders. The schedule makers didn't do us any good, but Todd, how are you feeling?
I'm amped up. It's cool that they have meaningful games. I thought it was going to be a down year, and I thought it wasn't a good year for that, even though I could see the benefits. But I'm happy that they're playing meaningful games. So I'm amped. I'm pumped. I'm ready to roll.
Same. This is a huge game because, as we saw last night, get Dallas versus the Saints. Dallas does not look as scary as they did.
They're cold. They've cooled down.
And I've seen Skip on Undisputed talking about he's nervous playing this Washington team 2 times in 3 weeks. So, yeah. Todd, I'm excited. This is a huge game right here. This puts you at 6-6, and the storyline is going to be huge if they win this game.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, and we'll hit on the injuries first because that's probably the first thing. It would be huge if they win this game, especially considering the injuries they'll be dealing with. Aside from all the injuries they've already had, so you've got Logan Thomas, you've got Curtis Samuel back. That's big. But you lost Wes Schweitzer. I have to say his name slowly. Eric Flowers is questionable. He didn't practice all week. He's questionable, which leads me to believe he'll try to play, but we'll see if he's 100%, if he'll be able to finish the game. So there's a chance you're playing with, I'm assuming, Sadiq Charles and Keith Ishmael as your left guard and center, and that's not ideal. Ishmael wasn't terrible, but in pass pro, he really wasn't that bad. In run blocking, he was a weak point. And then you're losing J.D. McKissick, who is one of your main offensive weapons. He's out for the game. Landon Collins is out for the game. Now, I know a couple weeks ago, Tay, Landon Collins being out would be good news. But now, I'm not sure if it'll be a critical thing. I think that DeShazer Everett could come in, kind of fill in the back end role where Cam Curl would be, and then Cam Curl can come down and play what Landon Collins is doing. I think he could be all right, but still, guys who are playing well are out. So if they can overcome those injuries, that's even more impressive, Tay.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think this Raiders team may be mistaken, but I don't think they're as scary. Obviously, you have no Waller. You have possibility of no Jacobs.
Possibility no Deshaun Jackson.
Possibility of no Deshaun Jackson. Right. So if that's the case, I'm okay with it, knowing that you need to get these guys healthy for this gauntlet of 5 games coming up against NFC East opponents. So right. I'm not scared. I think we can go in with what we have. With the Antonio Gibson and what we have on offense, as long as we have our booking tackles, we got Leno, you got Lucas, which I think is a good spot tackle. I'm not afraid. And then you got your weapons at full dispense outside of J.D. McKissick, Curtis Samuel, possibility of taking some handoffs.
Yeah,
I'm not as scared of this Raiders team. And then defensively, I mean, what more can you lose? We lost our 2 stalwarts at defensive.
Yeah, exactly.
They filled in perfectly. So I'm not phased. I think they can win this game. And I think that the possibility of getting some guys healthy and being almost close to full strength next week against the against the Las Vegas Raiders. Against the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, right? Yeah, I think if Waller's out, that's already big. He would have for sure been their biggest weapon against Washington, because Washington's linebackers would not be able to do a thing to stop him. Josh Jacobs is a good running back, but if Deshaun Jackson doesn't play, I think that's right after Waller. I think that's as big, because not only is he a threat to catch the ball, make the play, but I think he really opens things up because he's a threat. And so I just don't trust, Bobby McCain out there, whoever would be playing back. I don't trust them against Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson he's 33, 34.
Yeah. He's
still got that speed. He's always killed Washington. So I think if they could catch that break, that'd be pretty big. In terms of like the Raiders defensively, their passing offense is very strong, but they go as Derek Carr goes. When he has a down game like he did against the Giants, well, then they can't move the ball and they lose. Or like the Bengals suddenly. And then we saw how they did against the Cowboys. But their weakness on defense is their run defense, which right now would play into Washington's strength as a rushing offense.
Yep.
I'm so surprised by the success Washington has had running the ball. My question, though, on that is still, again, you've been running the ball successfully with the O-line you've had, even with some guys having to fill in. But with Ishmael taking over for Flowers, or with Sadiq Charles taking over for Flowers, who's maybe your best interior run blocker to this point, and then Ishmael at center, who to me, I just wonder if they'll be able to run the ball as well as they've been. If suddenly now you're down two of your pretty critical interior guys.
Yeah, well, again, you got Tyler Lawson, who is, I believe, questionable as well.
Let me
So
see.
that could possibly help. And like I said, this Raiders, their defensive tackles aren't really,
He's questionable.
uh,
Yep.
so aren't really,
Yeah, it's more their edge. It's more their
yeah,
edge
the
rushers.
edge. Yeah.
Right.
So like I said, I think they can run the football. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be okay.
I'm curious. Part of me feels like they'll need to do a bit more in the air. Um,
Yes.
and then my only question was that is I need to see Leno and Lucas hold up against Ngakwe and was
Yeah.
it Max Williams? What's his name?
uh, Nassib and
Nassib is out.
oh wow, okay.
Nassib is out. Max.
Uh, Max, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever the other part of his name is, yeah. But they've got some good edge rushers there. The Oakland Raiders just seem like a very up and down team. So I think a lot of it has to do with Derek Carr. The one thing I'll say in the positive, Washington really held Patrick Mahomes at bay for a while. They really held Aaron Rodgers at bay. Obviously, the Seahawks are struggling, but still, Russell Wilson didn't get right against them. So,
Tom Brady.
right, that's the one I was forgetting. Exactly, they held Tom Brady at bay, and so I would like to think they can, especially without his main weapon, Darren Waller, and if he's missing Deshaun Jackson. Now, it's a short week, it's across the country, but this team is showing resilience, and they're really buying into the whole David Goliath thing. That's
Mhm.
great for now. Again, someday I'd like for them to be Goliath, but yeah, I just what I'm feeling. I guess that's you've got some things to feel bad about, but then you kind of feel like this team can overcome whatever they can, especially if you
Right.
can overcome losing Chase Young and Montez Sweat.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
okay, so I guess what are you most confident about? If we,
I'm confident in Ron's record in December and January.
yeah,
Closing the
you're saying
season,
that, yeah.
regular season games, he's 28-20 from what I recall since he's been coaching.
Wow.
Obviously, he had a year where he went 0-4, 0-5, and that was that year in Carolina before he got fired. But he has
Yeah.
a 58.3 winning percentage in the latter months, and 3-2 is what I'm assuming is going to get him there towards the end of it. That's my
The
prediction.
last five games,
Yes, if the
assuming they
numbers
beat
at
the Raiders.
yes,
Okay.
assuming they beat the Raiders, I believe that in the last 5 games they'll go 3-2 because of the statistics and the numbers. It says that that's either 4-1, 3-2. I don't think they're going 4-1, but just Ron's track record in the latter months of the season of having a December in that game in January.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm most confident in, running the football and his record going into December and January.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's maybe part of this, but just again, the team is like they're just playing so much like a team right now. So, can they sustain their offensive success, which right now is these long drives where sometimes they have trouble finishing them? How long, is that a long term winning formula? I don't know, but for now it's working, and I think Heineke can do more than he's been doing.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
like like the passing offense can do more, but I like that they're leaning into the rushing offense. And then something to monitor, just kind of looking into the future. Jalen Hurts is a game time decision this week. He's
Mhm.
dealing with some injuries, ankle, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Daniel Jones is out this week, so they
Mhm.
play the. I mean, they don't play the Giants till week 18, but they play the Eagles here in 2 weeks, and uh, so I mean, look, I'll take an injured team. The
Right.
Cowboys beat the Saints without a quarterback. If the
Right.
Saints had, I think if Trevor Simeon played, they would have won.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll take all the help we can get. Either way, it's going to get interesting, because those Cowboys games are really good. I mean, every game's going to matter, but those Cowboys games, once you want to talk about the division, if you always got to fight for the division,
Yeah.
and if you hit the wild card on the way there, that's fine. But those two Cowboys games, man, I tell you what, those are going to be huge. They could
Yes.
they could be massive. That Sunday night one could be massive.
Huge. Huge.
No, but they got to handle business against Oakland this week. I hope they can get that done. I think it's possible.
Right. I think so too. And it's going to be good. And also you got to remember uh Carr's record in December is
Yeah, he
not
struggles.
particularly well.
He struggles, and
So
he's playing his old head coach.
exactly. Jack Del Rio knows all about him. I don't think he'll go off. I think Washington, only guy I'm really scared of is Renfro.
Oh yeah, Hunter Renfrow for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
And
yeah.
and I think our slot corners are pretty
Danny
okay.
Johnson's been doing okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing good. So yeah, I think we win this game, and I guess we can go on
Yeah,
predictions.
go for it.
I'm going to say I think they're going to score at will. I think you'll start to see the offense click.
Okay.
I'm going to say 28-17, 14 or 17.
Okay. I predicted a blowout against the Seahawks, and I feel right. Like they blew them out in every way except for the points. They should have scored like 28 or whatever.
Mhm.
The Raiders in Las Vegas. I'm gonna call a closer one. I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna call a win for Washington. I'm gonna say 20-17.
Mm.
And maybe the new kicker is the hero of the week. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna go for a win though. They're getting hot, and the Raiders are just. Hopefully Washington can just get some of those lucky. Can we get like a muffed punt at like the 2 yard line, or can we get like a tipped ball that's returned? Can we just get some lucky plays this week? We haven't really been getting a lot of luck. I want some luck, Tay.
That'd
If
be
we're gonna
so.
do anything this season, we're gonna need some luck.
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's
mean,
true. And
you
then
look,
also the
yeah,
benefit of making the wild card. Everybody say I want to win the division. I want to win a division. But the benefit of making the wild card is the fact that you can say you made the playoffs 2 years in a row.
right,
When's
exactly.
the last time? No matter the record,
Yeah,
79, whatever.
yeah,
When's the last time with Ron as the coach, you can say
I agree.
you made the playoffs
Yeah.
2 years in a row?
And this is the last thing I'll say. I was thinking about that earlier, and I was just thinking about how last year I was fine if they were bad. Obviously, they overachieved. They made the playoffs. This year, I thought they were going to be bad, but I didn't think it was best to be bad this year because then
Mhm.
you have trouble selling your plan and your vision and getting
Mhm.
people to buy in. If you go
Mhm.
to the playoffs, 7-9, whatever, 9-7, but if you go to the playoffs back-to-back years in Washington for the first time since I don't know, I'm assuming the early
Mark
90s or
Brunell,
late 80s, right? Or Mark Brunell, they went. Did they go in 06 though?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so
Because they played Seattle 2 years in a row, I believe.
I think it was it 05 and 07 when they made
Oh
it to the
five and oh
playoffs?
seven. So you're right, yeah. Oh
Okay,
five.
all right. So that was twice in 3 years. If they go back to back, yeah, like, again, you're able to really sell it to the fans, to the
Yeah.
team, to the organization. Everyone is buying in, and then you feel better getting your quarterback one way or the other. So
Yeah.
I'm all aboard for the playoffs train. Let's go get this thing done, man. 4 o'clock, for whatever against the Raiders. Yeah. All right, man. That's all I've got.
That's all I've got. Let's get this win,
Cool.
man.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you here right after Washington gets the. I think they'd call it a dub, but
Yes.
hopefully, this is Todd.
And this is Tay.